Tell us the things that you did that you thought were good, and tell us the things that you wish you could have done again.
Well, I'd like to think I united the IndyCar group in competitions and department. I think they lacked somebody who came in and pulled them together and got them working as a team. I'd like to think I did a little bit of that. We introduced a hole in the floor, which was about reducing the surface area to stop the cars taking off in a forward direction. We introduced aero kits, car positioning display, the steward system, the guidelines for the steward system, all things that, over time I believe will be a good decision to have made. They're not fully baked yet. There's still a lot of work in progress. But those things were, some of the things I sort of initiated. But, I wasn't alone. It wasn't all me. We've got a fantastic team there. But we all worked together, and I think over time those will prove to be, beneficial.
You and I disagreed about race control several times, which is fine. That's why this is a great country, even though you're not from here. But do you think I think there should be a chief steward and then a person in your position, a race director. Do you think there's a money for that? Because you couldn't even hire drivers to be in race control. Does there need to be two separate positions?
No, not necessarily two separate positions. 3 stewards. The race director could be one of them, but it doesn't have to be. But 3 stewards who know the rule book really well, who can look at what the incidents are and make decisions. 3 votes, the majority wins the day.
But we need drivers. Ex-drivers.
We need, the only guys that can really see a lot of these things accurately are drivers. That was the one missing link that needs to be enhanced for next year. Somebody like Little Al, for example, he knows what he's looking at. And Little Al, whatever it takes to pay him to come to the races, he ought to be one of our stewards. And you need to keep these guys on every race so you get the consistency. But the availability of people to do every single race sometimes isn't always there. But you need to keep a very small group, and they have to have at least 2 of the stewards be drivers. That's the next step.
No, I agree. What about looking back? Was poll day, was that your Armageddon? Because it seemed like you didn't get to say what you wanted to, because we tried to, you just kind of went underground, and we never got to really talk to you. And we knew that you had strong feelings about why you did what you did, but you didn't really get to explain yourself. Do you think did that hurt you in the paddock?
I don't know. I tried not to listen to it because it was a tough decision to make. Being a competitor and knowing what it means to change things in the last minute when you're at the most important race of your year, it hurts. But if you look at it from my side of the point, there was very few choices to be made. Erring on the side of safety, having more downforce, running and race configuration with the race boost, you're slowing them down. So the snap point and the takeoff point was being reduced. You're moving away from the danger level. We now know, looking at the data, both cars were susceptible to that. Now going at 180 mile an hour backwards, you could do it just as effectively with a Honda as you could with a Chevrolet from the tests that have been done in the simulations. So I think the decision was right. But, where I kind of draw exception to is people make a big deal about the qualifying and what it did to their package and how we got screwed or whatever we got screwed. But in the race, it was all about the race. So where was the competition there? It was the same way as it probably would have been for qualifying. Obviously, I think Honda had clearly a disadvantage. And it showed in the race, and it's shown at many, many other races. And so there's not much you can do to put that right. But you have to look at the show. Injuring a driver, getting a fan hurt with cars flying through the air. I don't know how anybody could make any other decision than what I made, but I'm comfortable with the decision. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd do it again.
The other thing that's kind of interesting is that people were saying, well, Honda helped get Derrick. First of all, people don't think you resigned, which of course you did, but then they said, well, Honda got him fired. I think Honda is solidly in your corner and has been. Talking to Art Sincere, I think he's generally hurt that you're not going to be around.
Well, I don't know. I don't speak for Art, but I made the decision to leave IndyCar. Nobody else. And IndyCar.
You helped. I think you've tried to help Honda. You can't make everything even, but I think you tried to help them.
Well, we that's part of our job. We help every competitor. I work well with both manufacturers, I like to believe. So, but, it wasn't about the issues. It was more about where I wanted to be and how effective I thought I could be in the job. And I just couldn't see that we could make a difference without some things changing. So rather than just stay there and grumble along and, take my paycheck, I said it's time to move aside and let somebody else do it, because I realized without some changes, I think I'm going to be limited.
We see in sports car racing and keep your sports car team going, or would you ever try and come back with Indy cars?
I'm not anti-racing or IndyCar. I mean, I need to raise money. I need to get a job or go do something for my team to keep racing. So, no, I'm very much racing. And if I could be an IndyCar, I'd be here tomorrow. Absolutely. I love it. And I have no problem with, working with IndyCar and accepting the rules and the decisions. They're a great group. They get a lot more criticism than they deserve, for sure. People, they don't cut them any slack, but they don't know how good an organization that is. It's not foolproof. It has its problems, and it also has its limitations, which, because they are such loyal people, they don't go out of their box and start saying, well, we haven't got this, or we didn't get that, we didn't get that. They just get on with the job, and everybody bashes them sort of every other week when there's something they don't like. But believe me, they're better than that. They're a good group.
Well, you worked your butt off. Nobody knows that more than I did, and I don't think you're going to find anybody that's going to have more passion for IndyCar than you did. And we appreciate your 3 years, and now I got to buy you pancakes till you get a job because you're a broke old man.
You're going to have to pay. Thank God.
Robert Miller for RACER.com. Thanks, Derrick. Thanks for watching.